I'm super excited about this particular interview coming up. I have the pleasure of working with Jordan Lindberg. Worked with her over the last, boy, almost 2 years now, and watched her kind of grow and develop. We get to talk to her and Lynn Violet about partnerships because they are a true partner inside of movement.
Yeah, man. I hear their names all the time, and it's always with effusive, over the top, exemplary, words and phrases. So I can't wait to get to know them. Thanks for teeing this up.
Hey guys, so excited to be with you. I'm so excited to be introducing to you some people you probably have heard the names, you probably know them. But Jordan and Lynn, you guys want to take a quick second and just introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about kind of where you're at, what market you're in, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, you want to go first?
Sure. My name is Lynn Violet, from Minnesota in the upper Midwest. I've been with Movement for about 12 years, so I've been around for a bit. And I work with Jordan Lindberg here as a partner. And when I mean partner, we're true partners together. Been in, like I said, in the industry for way too long of time. It really started in about 2000, went full time in about 2006. And yeah, I'm still here today, loving every minute of it.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm Jordan. I joined Lynn's team back in August of 2021, so I'm coming up on 5 years with Movement. I have never worked for another mortgage company, never even worked in finance before coming here. And Lynn took a chance on me after being introduced by a family member. And we've just literally stuck side by side ever since we started on day one.
Mhm.
So
Absolutely.
That's pretty
I
cool.
I had done several juniors prior to meeting Jordan, and I think I had done like 4 or 5 prior to Jordan with Movement. Total, she was number 7 overall in my career as far as juniors. And once I met her, I decided I wasn't going to let her go. I was going to do everything I could to stay with her and partner up with her. So,
You know when you know.
yes.
So cool.
I love that. And your relationship has obviously expanded from there. I mean, one of the things we're super excited to talk to you about is the fact that you're a team, right? So that's stuff that'll come up in coaching conversations with other people that we talk to, and everybody kind of wonders, how do you go about doing a team? And so you came together, you've grown up together. Tell me a little bit about how your relationship has evolved as a team since you started working together.
Yeah, I'll let Jordan go ahead with that.
yeah, I think when I started, like I said, I had no experience in finance, no experience in mortgages. I was completely green to anything, even having to do with real estate. And so I was just a nervous 24-year-old coming in and meeting Lynn for the first time at the interview that I came to. And I left and I was like, oh my gosh, I think I would love to work with her. I think like she has the same type of maybe a little bit high strung mindset that works for me, where it's like we got to move fast and we want to do as much good as we can do at the job that we're doing, and not always necessarily be the very best, but do our best. And I could tell that from Lynn in the first interview. So I called her, I would say maybe 3 or 4 times after the first interview, just checking in to see if she wanted to bring somebody on and if I was going to be the right fit. And she did get back to me. If you go back to 2021, August, things were crazy. The market was busy. I had no idea. So I didn't realize until a few months later how annoying it probably was that I was calling her every day, because she probably had 10 to 15 other calls coming in every hour from clients wanting to refinance at that time. So anyways, my persistence worked out. I ended up being able to get my license within the first 3 months of working for Movement. And I found my passion as a loan officer, and how our dynamic has changed since then is just really Lynn's ability to support me in my goals and in my growth as a loan officer. It can be kind of a challenge to see somebody that started with no knowledge grow into somebody that you look at as a partner. It can be a challenge to really navigate through those changes in the dynamic, and Lynn and I have done it so well, I feel like, that now we fully trust each other to take on the entire process of each loan. If one of us is out, the other one can take over. in a seamless way that allows our clients to have constant support. And that's what we tell our clients all the time. It's like, if one isn't available, the other one is. And so even if you see one of us on vacation, don't worry. The other one's going to be available to run your numbers and to get your pre-approval. So,
Yeah.
And you don't charge extra for that, as it turns out.
No extra charge. You
No.
get, what do we say? You get two for the price of one.
You get a
That's
2
exactly
for
what
one
I
when you
would-
work with us. And that's
You
one of my
should say
opening
that.
lines when I introduce her.
I
And
love
the best
that.
of both worlds too.
Right?
Yes.
So, Lynn, I have to ask you a question, and that is, I've been in this seat for a long time, and most loan officers think only experienced. I'm going to hire somebody with experience. You took a different route. And one of the things that I love is when somebody sees raw talent and says, I can teach you the business, but I can't teach you your humanity. I can't teach you who you are. So I'd love for you to speak to that just a little bit, because there are a lot of people out there that are like, I don't know, how would I identify that person? Talk to us a bit about that.
So at the time, basically, I was in a world of hurt. I mean, I pride myself on customer service. I want to make sure that I'm giving my all to every transaction. I don't ever want people to feel like they're a transaction. And I was wondering, is there a possible way to continue with this job? I was getting run down. I was feeling beat up. And yet I was trying to come to every transaction with a smile, upbeat personality, being happy. And it was really difficult. And I felt very torn. I was at a breaking point in my career where I was like, do I really want to train another person? Do I really want to go through all of this hassle at one of the most busiest times in my career? And when I met her, there was just something about her. It was, you just know, like you said, when you know.
Yeah.
And her persistence, I could tell she had this incredible work ethic. I had, questioned her on what she had done prior to coming into movement, and being that she worked at a nonprofit, it really showed me that she was someone that wanted to make a difference. And so when I first met Jordan, I just knew that she had this like servant's heart personality. Like she wanted to serve others. She wanted to be alongside me, and she wanted to make a difference. And to me, that was just so important. And one of the things that it just struck me. So yes, I took a chance on her. And believe it or not, I just in the matter of a week, I went home and I just told Jeff, I said, like, this girl is unbelievable. She has got the greatest work ethic of anyone I've ever trained. So I was very blessed. So for me, that was the reason why I took a chance on her.
Very encouraging for people. Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So how has your kind of team dynamic evolved behind the scenes, right? So now that you've gotten together, you trained up and working forward, how does that look like behind the scenes when you're serving borrowers and working with agents? How do you guys kind of divide the labor, or how do you work through it?
Yeah. Well, if we compare to my first day at Movement Mortgage to now, I'll tell you one of the biggest differences is in just how we collect a loan information, right? Lynn was working with paper files. We had a file cabinet where every document was printed, stacked, and scanned in to our loan officer or our LOA and the processors. And that's how she worked. And it worked for her. She had a very successful business at the time, and still does, but that's how she was doing things. And I saw that and I was like, oh my gosh, this is, something that she is spending way more time at this office next to the copier than she needs to in her day. And maybe by even just shaving off the amount of time that she was scanning papers in would cut her day short by maybe 2 hours. So that took a lot of time for us to transition from fully paper reliant now to we don't have any paper in this office. We don't even have a filing cabinet. So
what happened to the stapler? Is it like in a drawer somewhere?
It is. The stapler is, and we still have the claw clips. There was hundreds of claw
staple
clips.
remover. Yeah.
Yep, that we had because we were unstapling. People would bring their taxes in, you guys, and it would be this big, and maybe they owned 3 or 4 businesses, and it was so And
bet.
I would curse the accountants that stapled the taxes together because I wanted them to all use paper clips. But
Yeah.
So cool.
So she taught an old dog a new trick, and it
Yeah.
was like eye-opening for me. So I just her knowledge from the technology side brought me into today's world.
Yeah.
So it was huge. And the reason I was stuck on the paper submissions was because of the fact that's how our LOA worked. Our old regional, when I first started at Movement, this is how you're going to stack a file, and this is how you're going to do it with, you know, covers. We had driver's license. We had a piece of paper that covered it. We had, you know, taxes with a cover on it, W-2s with a cover on it. I mean, I had to have everything labeled and scanned in, and it was hours upon hours, and it was just amazing. Like, how can we become more efficient? And she just showed me this new way to do things. So that's
cool.
really in the beginning when she came in as a transaction coordinator and not having any knowledge, that was huge to me because she just opened up my world.
Yeah.
Love
so I would
that.
say that's one of the biggest noticeable differences on a day to day. But also, I mean, when we started together, Lynn had been in an MSA with a real estate company at that time, probably about 10 years, maybe a little bit more.
It was 11 years
11
when Jordan
years.
started.
And about 8 months into my being there and us working together, that MSA had ended. And it was a very, unfortunately, kind of a tumultuous ending. Lynn calls it the divorce of her parents, kind of like that she never wanted.
I never wanted, and we still love it. It's like home away from home when we go there for closings, and we still work with the realtor partners. But it was just a very unfortunate situation. But it really changed the trajectory of our business as a whole by having presence in a real estate office and going into a situation where we're now in a different office with no real estate agents.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to learn how to grow and evolve from that.
Yeah. So the way we develop business, I think, is a little bit different now and nurture our real estate partner relationships. And even where we source leads from has had to adjust just because, like Lynn said, we're not physically in front of real estate agents in the way that we once were anymore. So we have to go out and put ourselves in front of them now and, you know, remind them of all of the things that we do really well.
You bet.
So
it's such a common thing, you guys. I mean, Andy and I hear this with clients all the time, but that evolution is real and it is happening. And, you know, I used to be an in-house lender, so I know what it was like to sit inside a Coldwell Banker office with little old ladies with blue hair who did 2 transactions a year and wanted to find out how to spell FHA. You know, it is like, man, it was just so cumbersome in terms of time and space and commitment, and it wasn't efficient. So it sounds to me, and I'm probably oversimplifying as I'm apt to do, but Lynn, like, you were an awesome operator. You were a Navy SEAL as a mortgage lender. But what happened with Jordan came along is she helped you to see some new efficiencies, some new tech, and possibly some new ways of lead gen. And we haven't talked about it yet, but lead conversion as well, I would guess.
Yes, that is correct. You know, it was very scary leaving that relationship. And so, you know, we collaboratively worked together and thought, how can we come up with a game plan and working with these relationships and people that we have good established relationships and separating the ones that we truly have done more than 1 or 2Z type transactions, because of course those are always going to come back to you from different time to time. But right now, back then and through the current day, the relationships that we have, still working with agents that I've worked with for like 10 to 15 years that I met in that office. And it's just nurturing those relationships and letting them know that we care genuinely about them. And I tell everyone, you know, especially the real estate agents that I work with, our reputation is your reputation. You know, we're going to do well by you. We're not going to make sure that things go wrong. We're going to make sure that things are done correctly. We're going to set the proper expectations. We're going to make sure that we are making a point of being available if one of us isn't available. And that's where this relationship really has come to fruition for both of us. And I think a lot of the realtor partners would honestly say, if you interviewed them, they would say that, you know, we're not going to let them down.
Yeah.
In fact, I think in how many years I've been here, 12 years, I've never had a transaction that I've never missed a closing ever.
and we knock on
Wow.
wood with that. We also, she goes to, and this is something she's instilled in me since day one. She goes to every single one of our closings. We go and show up in person to all of the closings to celebrate the buyer. Right now, we don't, you don't meet them unless you go to the closing. So that's something that really, I think, sets Lynn apart and something that
Do you both
brings
go,
joy.
or just one of you
We
go?
both go. We try to
We
both
can,
go.
if we can't, if we have other appointments or something, sometimes we'll tag team it, depending that, like, if it's a loan that Jordan brought in and it's someone that she, means a lot to her. If there's something, other things that
Another
are pending,
event.
another event or appointment or client that needs us, then we'll divide and conquer. But for the most part, I would say probably 85 to 90% of the closings we go to together.
It's amazing. Good for you.
And it's a lot of closings, right? I mean, you're doing a lot of volume. What last year I know was President's Club. So how many units was that altogether, or roughly?
Yeah, last year we did, in 2025, we did 119 units for just over $35 million in 2025. And
So
so
10 a month is like 2.5 a week average,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
That's
And
a lot
for
of, to
us,
Andy's point, that's a lot of
yeah.
commitment, but there's no better moment, right? Than, yeah.
No, it makes it fun. And a lot of them sometimes they end up on the same day. And the other thing about our business in Minnesota and in the Midwest is it's very seasonal. And so there could be some months like when February and March sometimes where things are a little bit slow. So we have a compressed market where in June and July, we're maybe going to closings every day. And it's really fun, but it definitely takes a specific amount of time management to make sure that we're keeping up with the leads and all the business on the back end to be able to be physically present.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. Now I know we talked earlier about the idea that it's 2 for 1, right? That you get two for one when people are working with you. What do you feel is one of the biggest benefits that you have with the partnership that you've built?
I think the thing that sets us apart from a lot of people, and the benefit is just the trust that we've built within each other in our relationship. I implicitly trust her with everything from the bottom of my heart. And when I tell people that, right at the beginning conversation, I talk about Jordan. I mentioned Jordan as my loan partner. I introduce her. I say to them, hey, just so you know, if one of us isn't available, the other one's going to be available. We make sure that we're educating people. We want people to feel valued. We want people to be seen. We want them to understand that we are compassionate in knowing that this is one of the biggest financial decisions that they're going to make in their lives. And so I think both of us sharing those core values together really has brought a huge benefit to not only us in understanding each other, but also to our clients.
And if there's ever a time where a client isn't vibing with one or the other of us, we just send the other one over. And we say, you don't have to talk to that other one anymore.
Some of the younger people like her a little more than they like dealing with.
Some of them like you,
the old Mama Lynn. We call ourselves the dynamic duo because we have the best of both worlds when it comes to working together, the years, the knowledge, but then the fun, the articulation. She's so good. And she just is so vibrant. And when people first meet her, they just go, wow. And so it's kind of like walking through a grocery store as a little old lady with a cute puppy dog or something. I always like to say that because it's true. I mean, she is amazing. And I think working together, we just really have grown to have fun together. We become best friends. When we're not together, we miss each other. My kids joke and they say, Mom, you love Jordan more than you love us. And I'm like, no, I don't. I love her as much. I really do care a lot about Jordan. But that's kind of the fun side of things. But
Lynn, let me ask you a tough question about the partnership, and you don't have to get into specifics, but you have to know there will be people that'll listen to this interview or watch it, and they'll say, yeah, I don't know. There's not enough for me. How am I going to bring somebody else in? Like, how would you answer that objection, the one of scarcity?
This is a great question for her. It's a really good question.
First of all, one of my biggest mottos is you have to spend money to make money. Okay. And that's the truth. And when I looked at bringing Jordan on, initially it was a transaction coordinator position. I found the value in her. She scored a perfect score on her mortgage test. So I knew right away she's a genius, and I'd be stupid if I didn't invest money in her. So I literally, for me, you have to, there's, what she does is there's just not enough value in it. To me, she brings so much value that I can't even articulate exactly in words other than that. She's worth her weight in gold. And, you know, as far as the commission splits and how we go ahead and work on that, she's worth every dollar.
I love that.
All I can tell you is that you know, there's ways we evolved into where we are today. In how we structured our pay system, if that's what you're kind of boiling down to. Without getting into details, I'm happy to have those conversations with anyone that would have the need for it, because it believe it or not, we're actually doing more volume, and it gives me back a little bit of time and peace in my life by having her on board. And that to me is priceless.
That was the next question I was going to ask you. And I know you guys touched on that lightly at the beginning about vacations and covering for one another and so forth. But I don't know, Andy, what I'm seeing here, and it's rare, like this is rare. Dan Peck in Seattle, you guys may know, top 10, you know, his loan partner, Amy, has been with him 12 years. And I'm thinking he takes 7 weeks a year off. Like, it's just, they've built a business that serves his life rather than a business that consumes your life. And so I just want people to be encouraged by this idea, like start thinking a little bigger. And by the way, if this is something you want to talk to somebody about, reach out to Andy, schedule some time with him, schedule some time with me. We'd love to unpack this with you, because this is something that you can implement if it interests you.
Yeah, we talk to people interested in a team dynamic often. They'll call us and ask how things work, and we're always happy to share and be, you know, real and raw about how it works, because it takes a lot of communication, takes a lot of trust and understanding of each other, and honestly, patience with each other to be able to sustain what we have together. But it works out so well. And like I always say, I'm so grateful for Lynn being willing to bring me on and to coach me and train me and to be who I am in this business, because she didn't have to do that and she doesn't have to continue doing it. But together, the more that we invest in each other, the more time that we put into building the strength in the foundation of our relationship, the stronger our team is going to be, the more production we will do. We continue to grow year over year, which is great. But we continue to stay committed to the team and the goal of the team.
Yep. And we have those goals aligned, and we've even talked about what the future looks like as, you know, my retirement years are, you know, down the road, not too far away. But in all the business I've had over the 26 years, I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer. She's going to be my first phone call, you know, she's going to get them up. And so there is a benefit to that. And when people are questioning like whether or not they should do it, because there are people that we know, even in the region that we've spoke with, that are just contemplating and bringing on another person onto their team, but they're afraid to give up that pay. And it's like, but you realize that you can have some of your sanity back and still have family, a little bit more balance in your work and personal life, and still be able to make it work. And so I think, you know, it's just helping people over that fear factor.
So good.
Yeah. So Jordan, I know in working with you that the phrase "more than mortgages" really has kind of taken on as a theme for your team. And what does the phrase "more than mortgages" really mean to you guys?
Well, for us, we want to provide services that go beyond just the mortgage. You know, we are a team that provides more than mortgages, and that rings true in how we partner with our real estate agents, how we serve our clients, how we work together with each other. This relationship that we have is more than mortgages, but specific with how we, you know, serve our clients is that we want them to know, yeah, you come to us for a mortgage, but we're going to provide you with the education that you need to be able to make a confident decision when you're going to purchase your home. So, you know, we're not just going to give you a pre-approval and say, go ahead, start shopping. Our mantra, the way that we do business, is to truly And sometimes it causes us a lot more work, but to literally hold the hand of the client through the process to make sure they know their numbers. If they're looking at a house that they're considering making an offer on and they absolutely love it, but there's 5 other offers coming in on that house, we're going to talk with them. Hey, here's how with your mortgage, you can go in and make a strategic offer just by structuring your mortgage a little bit differently. Or, we won't give away all the tricks that we use in our market, but ways that you can strategically structure your offer to just barely edge out the competition. And we've found for us that drives a lot of success within our borrowers' offers and getting themselves into homes, but also in our real estate agent partnerships. Because when we share that with them, when we say to our real estate agent partners, we're going to provide your clients with pre-approvals, but we're also going to help you structure your offers. We're going to help you build more business for your pipeline down the road. Then they want to continue working with us.
So
and we educate our agent partners as well on, random things like FHA condo questions and, what else?
Different
insurance stuff.
Different product types.
The big one,
like expanded access. My gosh, my whole world has been opened up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like excited. It's like I'm a kid in a candy store. I mean, honestly, some of these expanded access products, if you just take a little time and dig into them,
Mm-hmm.
they're not difficult. They're easier than doing just a traditional mortgage sometimes. So,
Yep.
that's just going to be a whole big piece of our goal for the next year is really kind of pushing some of those products out there. So real estate partners do become educated and knowledgeable about what more Jordan and I can do together to help them build their business.
Mm-hmm.
The other piece
Love
that that she touched on that I wanted to just to drive home is the fact that, it's not just a transaction. We don't want people to feel like transactions. That is the last thing I want. I want people to know that we care about them genuinely. We want to be friends with them after.
Mm-hmm.
And we also oftentimes make it a point to talk about where the short-term financial goals are and what their long-term financial goals are. We make sure that we tie all of that together and build those relationships. That to me is hugely important right now. And that's kind of when I say more than mortgages, there's so many different levels that we touch as far as building like confidence and trust within our relationships with them when it comes to setting up a monthly budget. I mean, do we go that far? No, we don't tell them how much to spend on groceries and stuff. But if someone asks us,
We do it.
We absolutely will help.
I just had a thought. This is one example of how we really go beyond mortgages. Lynn is just relentless in her pursuit to get people into homes and have them become homeowners. And one time, a borrower of ours lost her job mid transaction, and Lynn was on the phone multiple days in a row with this person's manager, her shift lead, trying to figure out why they weren't scheduling her and why her hours were cut, like where her work was going. And they were kind of dogging the client. They were avoiding Lynn's calls. Lynn got them on the phone one day, held them, put their foot to the fire, and actually, like, the client got their job back. They got their hours back. We were able to get a letter that explained why their hours had been cut. And so it's literally, she takes you under her wing, and by all means, you will close your loan. You're not going to be canceling. She's also had somebody call. We got someone a job at Goodwill one time because they pay a salary, and the borrower needed a salary to close, and they got their job and they closed.
Oh my goodness. So if you guys aren't telling those stories on social, those are, well, obviously without anybody.
I know, we
the
do.
company, tell those stories. Well, the reason
Mhm.
is you're completely decommoditizing yourself.
Mhm.
You
I
know,
know.
if somebody's like, oh, I'm on the phone with Rocket, well, what they're really doing is they're talking to a 23-year-old with a headset in Detroit reading a script, and their call's being timed by their supervisor. Like
Mhm.
it's apples, it's not even apples and oranges, it's apples and kumquats. It's just as different as life can get. Play that card, you guys. That's magnificent. Love that.
Mhm.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. Guys, this has been an awesome interview. It has been a delight hanging out with both of you and getting to know you and learn a little bit about your business. Just in a closing thought, if you were going to give some advice to an aspiring loan officer that's looking to build or to add a teammate on in the same way that you guys are or something similar, what advice would you give to that individual?
You go first.
Well, honestly, I think taking a chance, you know, if you're trying to find the right person, um, you know, we'd be happy to be a resource to kind of talk about the different pieces that I was looking for when I was looking for someone like Jordan. I have, like I said, coached 7 people in my career, as far as coaching, mentoring them, training them as junior loan officers. But taking that junior position and really sealing the deal with a partnership. And we are more than happy to have those conversations with anyone in the company.
That's
I
very
think
kind,
too,
very generous.
Yeah.
as somebody who just started in the business and didn't know what this was when I started, I think one piece of advice I would give to anybody else in a position like mine is try to stay humble and don't get too big for your britches. You might get brought on by a loan officer, a senior loan officer, and you're a junior, and you think that, you know, you are bigger than the program. You think you can go off and do all these amazing things and create so much more production, and you're being held back. And really, I think it's important to stay true to your roots, stay loyal to the people that bring you up and train you, because anything can happen in the blink of an eye in this business. We've seen it with the market that we're in right now. And it's important to just kind of have temperance and take things in, be loyal, stay motivated, but also don't think that you're too big, because you got to stay true to those who gave you the opportunity to grow.
It's great coaching right there.
I love it. Awesome. Any last thoughts for you, Bill?
No, I mean, yeah, this has just been such a great call. I didn't know you guys, knew of you, but to hear your story, this is a story that as a coach, I'll be repeating, and I probably will be referring people to you from time to time. I'm
Yeah.
just always super cautious on that because you're busy, right? So you don't want to take a lot of calls. But man, I think you're very encouraging to people, and just the beauty of the light, even just that poster behind you, see the good. I mean, come on, it's who you guys are. Your light shines and it's beautiful. So congratulations on what you built. Can't wait to see what you build moving forward.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bill.
Awesome. All right. Thanks for your time, guys.
Thanks,
Thank
Andy.
you.
Take
Bye
care.
bye.
Boy, that was a fun interview, wasn't it, Bill?
Oh man, I'm telling you what, that could have easily been an hour, hour and a half as far as I'm concerned.
Absolutely. I mean, just
Yeah.
the passion that they have in their business, just the way that you could almost sense that as they were speaking, they were getting ready to finish each other's sentences, but
Oh,
they
for
just held
sure.
back and let the other person talk. I mean, just like, boy, a true partnership in the way that they work together.
Yeah, it's so true, and it's so unique in our business. We just don't see it that often. You'll see teams where there's turnover, and it's a transactional arrangement. It's not a relationship. This is a true relationship. And just the very fact that Lynn was bold enough to entertain the idea of hiring somebody with no experience is pretty impressive. So I love that story about, well, I just kept calling. It's like, this is what I want to teach all my kids and grandkids. It's just so good. Anyway, man, loved this interview. So good.
Agreed. So many incredible nuggets to pull out of there. Hope you all enjoyed it. Hope you had a great time listening to that. Just remember with our podcast, always helps that if you follow us, that if you like us, and share it, put it out to some other folks. Let us know what's going on, and reach out if we can help out in any way. If you need anything from
You
us,
bet.
you can always catch us at getcoaching@movement.com.
Yep. If this stimulated something in you and you'd like to do something with it, we'd love to have a conversation with you about how to take next steps. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you, Andy.
Appreciate you too, Bill.
See you guys.